This is Pastor David's Daily Bread Guide message. Today, chapter Esther 3, and it can be titled as Haman, the Amalekite, has the power to destroy the Jews. Anti-Semitism. Haman, the Amalekite, has the power to destroy the Jews. Anti-Semitism. So anti-Semitism, the hatred to the Jews, is the background of the book of Esther. And the book of Esther describes about the sovereign providence of God and God's intervention in all the stories, even though there is no mention about the word God. Today's chapter can be divided into two, verse 1 to 4, the faith of Mordecai. The faith of Mordecai. Verse 5 to 15, the Haman's anti-Semitism. Haman's anti-Semitism. Haman is the descendant of the Amalekite. And who is Amalekite? Saul had a war with the Amalekite, and God ordered him to destroy thoroughly the Amalekite, but Saul did not obey to God's command, and he did not fully destroy the tribe, Amalekite. So because of this disobedience, the Amalekite remained, and they had been the tribes who continuously attacked the Jews in the history. And Haman is the descendant of the Amalekite, and he's the one who had the plot to destroy the Jews in today's chapter. So Haman was elevated as the one after the king Xerxes. And the verse 1 says, King Xerxes honored Haman, son of Hammedatha the Agagite, elevating him and giving him a seat of honor higher than that of all the other nobles. So because of this, all the royal officials at the king's gate knelt down and paid honor to Haman. However, Mordecai would not kneel down or pay him honor. So why did Mordecai did not honor Haman? It's because of the faith of Mordecai. Because Haman is the descendant of the Amalekite, who had been the enemy to the Jews, and I'm sure Haman's all the behaviors were against the principles of God. Because of this faith, Mordecai did not kneel down or pay Haman honor. And then the royal officials at the king's gate asked Mordecai, "Why do you disobey the king's command?" And they told Haman about it to see whether Mordecai's behavior would be tolerated, for he had told them he was a Jew. And verse 5 says, when Haman saw that Mordecai would not kneel down or pay him honor, he was enraged. So he decided to destroy the whole Jews. And based on this decision, he looked for a way to destroy all Mordecai's people, the Jews, throughout the whole kingdom of Xerxes. And verse 7, verse 8, then Haman said to King There is a certain people dispersed among the peoples in all the provinces of your kingdom who keep themselves separate. Their customs are different from those of all other people, and they do not obey the king's laws. It's not in the king's best interest to tolerate them. If it pleases the king, let a decree be issued to destroy them, and I will give 10,000 talents of silver to the king's administrators for the royal treasury. So for his plot to be accomplished, Haman persuaded the king that there is the tribe who do not obey to your command, and I will give 10,000 talents, which are equivalent to 375 tons, or about 340 metric tons of silver. And he persuaded the king to issue the decree to destroy the Jews. Then verse 10, the king took his signet ring from his finger and gave it to Haman, son of Hammedatha the Agagite, the enemy of the Jews. Keep the money, the king said to Haman, and do with the people as you please. So later, verse 14 says, a copy of the text of the edict was to be issued as law in every province and made known to the people of every nationality so they would be ready for the day. And verse 15, the countries were now spurred on by the king's command to destroy the Jews, and the edict was issued in the citadel of Susa. This is the end of today's chapter. And by the time that the decree was issued to destroy the Jews, the latter part of verse 15 says, the king and Haman sat down to drink, while the city of Susa was bewildered. So the enemies, the king and the Haman, they drank while all the Jews, the city of Susa was bewildered. So such anti-Semitism, it continued, like the Hitler, who was like the Haman, who had the plan who actually tried to destroy the Jews. But after this chapter, in chapter 4, God started working. God started to conduct his plan to save the Jews from the plot of the enemy, the Haman the Amalekite. So with his sovereign providence, he saved his people, the Jews. And the ultimate victor is Jesus Christ and the ones who follow Jesus Christ. Therefore, we shouldn't make complaint and we shouldn't grumble, but we have to stick on to the promise of God. And the promise of God, the covenant of God, is 100% achieved in God's perfect timing. So I bless you to keep on the covenant of God, the promise of God, and do not make complaints, but have expectation on God's perfect timing and his achievement. And God bless you to stick on to the sovereign providence of God.